Thank you very much. Sorry, I've lost myself a little bit in the first session, but I cannot emphasize it enough, the whole question or the whole issue about identity. Because it needs to produce out of you. You see, whatever you want to have in life, you're going to produce it. You're going to go to Australia, whatever you want to live there, you need to produce it. Principles remain the same everywhere. Yes, maybe your circumstances can be a bit better there, or maybe not better. You know, it all depends on lots of things. Maybe some governments are better than other, or whatever, you know, weather, I don't know what it may be, but the point remains the same. Is that you must get clarity about the world that's inside of you, that is called you, and what you want to live, and you're going to produce it, because it's in you. That is the answer. I wrote a book, we're going to talk about passion now. I wrote a book with the name, The Secret of the Formula of Success. It's a real formula. I would really recommend the book. It's a more lengthy formula, if you can say it like that. We've said that the heart of the formula is knowledge, skill and activation. But if we can break down the whole formula in just two pillars, it is the following. There is a point in life that's called you. That's a point. There's a point where you need to get clarity upon who are you. And when I talk about who are you, it's not only a spiritual thing. Yes, it's very important, extremely important to find out who are you spiritually, what is a new creation, whatever. But it's much more than that. It is the questions of what do I want to live? Where do I want to stay? What do I want to work? What do I want to drive? What house do I want to stay in? Where do I want to stay? What do I think about pension? What do I think about marriage? About the role of the man, the role of a woman? Children, how many children do you want? What is my values in life? You need to define your whole life for yourself. Open up for yourself a file on your computer and start to write about yourself. Everything you can think of about yourself. Especially when you are young. Start to define for yourself, what do I want to live? Because let me tell you, whatever you define, you can live. If you are persuaded that this is what I must live. It is not just a file of being positive. Oh, it would be nice if I can marry. It would be nice, this, whatever. You see, especially the life of John D. Rockefeller, the first Rockefeller. He defined life for himself when he was at school. He had the most horrible home situation. We're not going to talk about it now. You know, but he defined for himself what he want to do, where he want to get and whatever. And he lived that life. Much more than that life. What was maybe 100 times that life. But you must start to get some form of clarity about who are you. You know, I'm not the type of guy that tow caravans, you know, and we go and fishing and whatever, you know, like Rian. I know there's people like that. It's not me. You know, and I'm not, it's not a right and a wrong and against and a better or not a better. Define for yourself what is recreation for you. What is sport for you? Where do that thing fit into your life? And whatever other people say, define it for yourself and stick to it and live it. Because when you say, okay, yeah, but I must be in with Rian, so I must every weekend go and fishing, you know, but I hate it, you know, but you're not going to live like that. That's not life. See, that's not the way I find life, you know. We are all different people, but we make peace with your uniqueness, and your uniqueness is not an accident. It is designed to be that way. And you need to appreciate your uniqueness. That will be different from all other people. But that is the unique you. And if you can't find and define the unique you won't be able to live that person. And God hasn't sponsored the other person in you, has sponsored you, what you are and what He wants you to live. You know, live that life that you want to live and you want to do. So the point, the number one thing is, half of life is conquered if you've got the point, listen, this is who I am. Then you've got 5, 10, 20 years, that's a process where you need to manifest this what you have seen, till you get to a practical point where you see what you have defined. You see it manifesting in its fullness. But the problem of that process, is that there's lots of contradiction, there's lots of problems in that process. We call it the school of life. And in that school of life you will write tests all the way. And you will have problems. Why? Because every problem is an opportunity where you have to write a test to get a skill. Because the school of life knows that you cannot get to that point of what you have clarified for yourself if you don't have this, let's say, 20 skills. And therefore the school of life will bring to you the problems where you can exercise that 20 skills till you've got the 20 skills, and then the manifestation in its fullness will come. But the problem is we look at the problems and we become negative about the problems, and then at the end of the day we give up upon ourselves. Because life is too difficult, it's too hard, there's too many problems. But it is not God's intention to make your life full of problems. He wants to take away the problems, but the only way to take it away is to bring the problem to you, because you must face the problem. You will face the money problem. You will either sit under it and moan about it, that life is too expensive, till you make the decision, I'm going to conquer this problem. I'm going to solve it, so that I don't need to talk any longer like that. And that's not only for the problem of, children, and many children, and there's no money. Oh, listen people, we've decided that we want, say, 17 children in phase 1, and then we will decide later on in phase 2. But when we got to 6, the Lord says, okay, this is fine. But the problem is, we never planned according to our finances. People say, we can't have children, it's too expensive. I say, what do you mean it's expensive? I mean, of course it will cost you 2 million to raise a child between, 0 and 20. It will cost you 2 million, and every time Marianne announced I'm pregnant, I say, okay, another 2 million that we need to find somewhere. But just take mention and just write it down and say, okay, we'll find it. But you don't plan according to the 2 million, you just go on and live life. And the Lord says, I get so frustrated when people start with, okay, I don't have the money, therefore I can't do it. Listen, money is not dictating your life. The Lord and you are dictating life. I mean, when there was a child, then he said, listen, we must build another room. We don't have money, but we're going to build this room, so what can we do? At least we can measure the room and we put some pegs in. Okay, this is going to be the room. This is going to be the room. It's going to appear there. And guess what? A few months later, there was the room. How? I don't know. It is not, don't worry about the how. The point is, when a thing is fixed in you, it will appear. When you become persuaded about you and what you must live, the rest is history. And we've raised 6 children without a salary, and we brought them to whatever they need to come to. Where do we always got the money? I don't know, to say at least to you. But the point is, don't worry about all this stuff. Just take up the responsibility and run with it. And just, I always say, take every problem at the throttle and what you call it, throttle it. What is the right word?
That's it.
Just do it, just live it. I mean, I can't believe it, people. We don't start. I see a thing in Moneywise, when we go through Moneywise here in the middle, I see something that's very beautiful. People start to dig up their dreams. I say, why are you digging up now? Why you've buried your dream? There's no money for it. I say, but why are you digging it up? I realize it's not the money problem, it's me. I don't believe that I can live this life. I can tell you stories, people, that will, maybe I must tell this one story. We had once a family that attended Moneywise. They brought their 2 children with, because homeschooling must be part of the whole thing. And so they sat down, and I remember here with chapter 7, we've done the housing, and you must go home and do your calculations, do you have property? Must you buy property? Must you buy more property? Are you going to pay more quicker or whatever? So they come back and I say, listen, we've got a property, 14 years left, but we're going to push it down to 7 years. We're going to put everything that we have in. You say, wow, that's beautiful. From 14 to 7. Yeah, we're going to do it. But it's going to be a tough life. I say, well, write it down, go for it, start to do it. Pay in that extra money. Next week they come back, and I could see the guy is totally visibly upset, you know. He came to me, he said, listen, I can't wait 7 years. I said, what do you mean? I mean, 7 years, it's a miracle, this thing, man, it's wonderful. I mean, most people don't even have a property, can't do this, what you're doing. I mean, he's just upset. No. I said, but what's the problem? He said, no, it can't be 7 years. I said, no, why can it not be 7 years? And then I'm battling with Di. I said, listen, the 7 years is not your problem. What is the problem? He said, tell me straightforward, what is your problem? He said, I can't wait 7 years. I said, why can you not wait 7 years? It's not long. He said, I want to farm. I said, well, now we're at the problem. Your property is not your problem. You want to farm, and you need to pay off this property. 7 years is too long. You become alive now in Moneywise, and you know you've buried this dream already many years. So what is the Lord saying to you? He said, 2 years. I said, well, at least you know if it's 2 years, you need a miracle par excellence. So go and write it down and live the thing. So he wrote it down, he put everything together, and went home. And the next week he came back, but he was walking on air. The next week, people, the next week he was walking on air. He came to me. It's like attacking me. He said, you can't believe it, what happened? I said, no, tell me. He said, I came Monday at my work, and then my friend said to me, listen, you need to be awake, my father is going to phone you. I said, but I don't know your father. He said, but he knows me, he's going to phone you. So he went to the toilet, he came back, 10 minutes later, his friend's father phoned him. He said, listen, I've got a nice farm, I've got everything, I'm retired, and I must go back to the mines because I've got a job there suddenly, and I want to go and do it for 2 years. I want you to stay here. My son said to me, there's no one more reliable than you. Come and stay here. You stay for free. Everything is paid. You can farm here. The harvest is yours. You can go on, whatever, The next week, because there's an embracement of this thing. Listen, if it's 2 years, then it's 2 years. So they moved there. They stayed there. So they could put tenants in their house. Now they could pay off the house in 2 years. It's possible now. After a year and a half, I met them here at the market. I said, what's going on? They said, no, you wouldn't believe it. The guy phoned, he said he's coming back. The work is finished a bit quicker, but we've been farming now for a year and a half. We've already bought the farm next door. We're busy building our house there, and we're moving over there. 1.5 years, and they start living their full dream. Huh? Yeah. What is the key? Is the key the cause? I don't think the key is the cause. The key is that they start to be honest with themselves about what they want to live. Because most people, they put a dream away because there's no money. Listen, the dream has got its own provision. If there's a desire in you for 6 children, I tell you, every child comes with his own bread basket. You just need to find the bread basket. It is not biblical that I am the sole provider for my house. The Lord is the provider. I am the channel. I'm the responsible person. You see, it's a bit of a change, The Bible says, this is the work of the Lord, that you believe in me. No, that doesn't mean you sit at home and you just say, I believe God. This is not, no. It means that the Bible says, seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things will be added unto you. But what does it mean to seek the kingdom of God? It means you need to seek your place and your responsibility in this kingdom on earth. So when you do your place and your responsibility and your job, the Lord will do the rest, whatever the rest may be. You see, but I remember we once had the Moneywise in one of the towns. I don't want to put the names or whatever. There were really sort of people with big salaries there, most of them. But then there was one couple that was teachers. Teachers. Oh my goodness, they don't get big salaries, and they were teachers in a specialized school. So it's half the teacher's salary. At the end of everything, we have a personal conversation with everyone to see what's their road and to financial freedom and this and this and this. And I couldn't tell you. When I sat down with those two people, they were the most financially free in the whole group, with the least salary amongst all of them. Why? Because it's not about your salary. It's about what do you do with the salary. It's about what do you think about yourself. Do you have a plan that you're busy working out? Most of them have lots of money, but it just disappears every month. It just disappears. No one invests. They were investing little bits, and they are in an immensely good situation. They had to do one step and they would be financially free. These other people had salaries that was 100 times more than them, and they were far from financial freedom because they were not doing the right thing. They were not investing. They were not working with a plan. They were just, privileged to have a good career or, have a degree, good salary, but it's like going nowhere. So the point is not, I'm not impressed by what is your career at the moment and your salary and whatever. If it's good, it can help very much. But that's not a prerequisite to reach the point of financial freedom. Because the freedom is in you, the plan is in you, everything is there. Start to see that and become at the point where you are so overwhelmed to live it and so excited to live it. By defining yourself and start living that, going that road, but going the right way. The second thing we talk about here is actually passion. And passion is widely, wrongly understood in life. Passion is actually, in the first place, it is the energy that you need to live the life that was set out for you. You get something like what they call this disease, yuppie grip, or it's lots of things. I'm not going into the disease, but it's people that it looks as if there's no energy in them. No, whatever. How does it ever? I don't know. But the point is that you can't live anything if you don't have energy. To live the 7 relationships, you need to have energy. And what the devil is doing, and that's his best plan upon your life, is to steal your energy. Because if you can have the best plan in the world, but if you don't have the energy to live it, you can't live it. And the way you're doing it is to keep you busy in the sin of the past. It's what we call, I call it an open window. I first bought my computer, then we open up Word, we do some stuff, and then we open up Outlook. But when you come to the third program, the thing starts to freeze. Why? Because the CPU cannot release enough energy for 3 programs. It's too much. You must close down 1 or 2. Nowadays you can open up 20 programs because we've got big CPUs releasing lots of energy, capacity to handle it. But now we minimize stuff, And I say people have too many minimized programs in their life. They fight with this person, they fight with this, and the bank manager, and the money here, and the wrong relationship there. It's all minimized programs. And tonight when you sleep, all those programs is drawing energy. And tomorrow morning you wake up, but you feel totally exhausted. You've slept 8 hours, but you are feeling exhausted. Why? The programs is drawing all your energy. I tell you, this is one of the biggest reasons what I see why people do not reach any financial progress, not even talking about freedom. They do not have energy. You cannot go on this road if you don't recapture your energy. And God has brought you this earth with enough energy for everything that you need to live. But the devil is going to open up programs in your life, wrong relationships that don't work out, that so draw the energy out of you that you close down your life that you must live. No, I don't feel like going to do this, So you bury your dreams. You start to cut your dreams. Piece by piece, you start to bury them. Instead of keeping them alive. But you need to be very anxious about the fact that where is your energy going, people? Where is your energy going? Because passion is actually that the Lord has given you enough energy for your dream. And you need to start to live this dream with whatever amount of light you have about your life. What is it? You like chickens? Well, let's start with chickens. I expose my children to lots of things, anything, just to find out, where's the spark? Where's the spark in the person that sparks the person? Get exposure to stuff in life. Just start to do something, because in the first place in your life, you cannot always define your passion very clearly. I knew my brother, he was talking electronics, since birth about, And he became an electronic engineer, and he's still an electronic engineer, you know. But not all people have that sort of clarity from childhood, you know. And don't feel there's something wrong with you. There's not necessarily something wrong with you. Just start to do some stuff. I just say people, you know, I mean, the two things that's the main things in my life I never planned to do, to write books and to do property. But I investigate things and I say, but let's do it. Let's just get involved. Let's go and study it. You know, let's just talk to people. And suddenly I discover, but there's something in me that gets stirred when I talk about this, you know. And other stuff I don't get stirred about it. Because you must find that thing that stirs you. Maybe spiritual, business, whatever, you know, whatever it is. How do you want to do the thing? Get that thing. We start out in life in a way that we say, okay, let's just use this passion and start to use it in life. But then you need to start to define this passion by the three things that we have here. The what, the how, and the why. The what is basically the plan. I need to get some form of plan, you know. I say to myself, okay, but if people like this stuff, let's write a book, you know. Okay, now to write a book, I need to get a plan. Okay, a book needs an introduction, it needs certain chapters. You know, okay, it will be good to do it this way, this way. The strategies, okay, I have only time here and there or whatever. Then you get yourself a strategy. And one of the most important things of your passion is actually the why. Why are you doing this? What's your motivation? If your motivation is strong, you will have lots of deursettingsvermoë, lots of grit, perseverance. You will persevere along the road because the road is not easy. When I listen to people that sort of, as we said, reach success, you know, go and listen to the story of Elon Musk. I'll tell you, you will nearly get depressed when you hear it. When you hear of all the difficulties he had to overcome in his life. He's living let's say a great life successfully, whatever success may be, you know, because success for him and me and you is different. It differs in all our lives. But you know, you just don't get there without writing the right test. If you want to get to a great form of success, you're going to write great tests. It's part of life. Test is not necessarily something that's going wrong in your life. There's great challenges in your life. You need great amount of money. You need a great amount of a breakthrough or a cooperation with other people. It all depends on lots of different things at the end of the day. But you need to have a strong why. Because your why will give you a constant feed of energy. Why am I going through this? And your why must be something more than making money. Because making money in itself is not enough. Why? Because you can reach the point of money and then what? Your why must never stop. I mean, the why must get to a point. The why must always go back to people. The why does not stop at a thing. It must, yes, you can make the money, but the money must be reinvested in a certain way that you are very passionate about. Maybe helping people to hear again, giving the earpieces or the soup kitchen or whatever. The why must always reconnect with real life and with people. It cannot end with money because money is never the end. It's always a means to the end. Okay, so that is very important. But passion links onto your identity. The moment you can tell me who you are, you know, what is important for you, what do you value in life, you know, I will tell you where you will spend your time, where you will spend your money and all these things. It goes back to that. The interesting thing is that the Greek word for passion is the word pascho. It means to suffer. That's the, you know, we've got a very beautiful idea of passion, you know. This person has got passion, man. Oh, it is so wonderful. But passion is the energy that makes you endure during times of suffering. That's what passion is. Passion takes you through difficult times, whatever the difficult time is, the time of test, writing the test, so that you don't stop along the road. Because when you stop, you give up upon yourself. You don't only give up upon your life, you give up upon yourself. And the thing you need to have before you go on the road is have clarity about your identity. And it is not the clarity of, I wish, I plan, it would be nice or what. No. Clarity is, listen, I am called for this. I'm going to live this. I'm going to walk this road, I'll get there. Whatever it means, going back to university 4 times, whatever, I don't mind. It is not an option. You will seal me there. I will get there. I see it in front of me and I don't mind what this process will ask from me. I will arrive there in practical terms. I'm not busy trying to get there. I tell you, I will arrive there. I will see it. You see, everything in creation, God's creation was not a sort of an experiment. We talked about it last night. It was an absolute persuaded outflow of His love. God knew that He could create a world, even though man could mess up as much as possible. He will get through it and He will do redemption and He will get His people that will be with Him in heaven. He knew it. There was nothing what was stopping Him. He was greater than the fall of man. The fall of man was never His big problem. He could conquer anything. God went out in creation and everything with a spirit of victory and He conquered everything, although it cost Him His own life. He was never wavering, because the word faith means persuasion in Greek. God's living out of persuasion. What is your persuasion about yourself? Are you really persuaded that you must fall? If you are really persuaded, you will set it out, you will plan according to it, you will strategize according, you will invest according to it, you will live according to it, you will do holiday according to it, you will everything according to it. And you will tell everyone about it and you will be absolutely sure that you will live it and you will live it in. And that's a beautiful thing. When I talk to any wealth creator, they will tell you, listen, I was so old and then I had this vision or this dream or this whatever, and I put it down for myself and I said, this is what I'm going to live. You see that thing. You can listen to every successful story that you can listen, especially when you hear this network conferences, then you hear the stories of this big successful people making lots of money. You will always hear this turning point. We were suffering, we didn't have food, we even don't have shoes, And then I realized, listen, I am worth living better than this. I can live better than this and I'm going to live better like this. This is the end. And then I went and I took on this business and this work or whatever and I just did everything and I got out of it. But it is a turning point in them. It's no longer a question, we're going to see if it's working. No, this is the end. And then you hear the story of people, that didn't have shoes, they didn't have food for themselves, and now they're living with 3, 4, 5 mansions of 2, 3 million rand, driving 3, 4, 5 cars and whatever. Not that is the real success, but something is working there. Because coming from a place of a shack and ending there something has changed. And the something that has changed is in themselves. And when you talk to them, they will tell you that you must decide for yourself. You must decide if you want to live there. If you want to live there, you tell yourself, then you go there. And you don't spare anything to get there. You go there because you are destined to go there, whatever the there may be. Because the there is not only maybe a house or a car or whatever. Your there is what you believe you must define. And it's interesting, they never decided to have the 5 homes or whatever, but at that time you hear them, they're there. They just want to live in a nice, just a house, with a roof that's not leaking. But it's incredible to see what people can live and produce when they become desperate and make a decision about the value where they say, listen, my life is more valuable than what I'm living at the moment. This is not a reflection of who I am. And start to listen to the inner voice in them and say, listen, I'm called for something bigger. I'm called for greatness. I'm lived to something. I've got this one life. At least I can do something that can impact the world and make a difference. It's not for me. It's for the world. But listen, you can't give the world anything if you can't give yourself even anything. I mean, you can only give away if you have something to give away. Okay. So that is what passion is all about. Every person do have passion in their life. Just start to live with this passion. This passion will start to define itself the moment you start to live it. You will actually discover your passion in some ways, one or another. Your passion can change. You know, I remember I read a story about the guy that was in the prison. You know, totally purposeless life and whatever. He was sitting there in the prison one day, and then a butterfly came and sat on his hand. He said, "But this is a beautiful butterfly, you know." And he said to himself, "But maybe I must just go and read something, you know. What is this butterfly all about?" So he went into the library, and don't know if there was computers or whatever. And then he found out that this butterfly was under the endangered species. And he just sat there and said, "Listen, I can make a difference. I'm going to spend my life and get this butterfly out of endangered species." And he left prison, and that was his task, and he did it. No, you say to yourself, okay, you know, it's a butterfly, but you know, God needs people to get to such jobs done, you know, to save the water, to save the trees, to save the butterflies, to save the lots of things in this life. You need people for that. I mean, if He wants you to do that, He will give you the passion for that. Sometimes you discover it, but get involved in the world around you, and some sort of problem will start to bother you, because that's part of what you must change. And if it constantly bother you, make it your life's mission to solve it. And start to define it more closely and more, whatever the problem is, and go deeper and deeper and deeper and start to solve it. Because that's how you find your passion at the end of the day. So engage in finding your true identity. Find your fields of interest. Do what you love and do it well. Define the things that you spend your money on. See where you constantly acquire your skills, which problems bother you, and so we can go on. Okay, I've already said that passion has got these three finer, let's say, definitions of the what, the how, and the why. It's the plan, the strategy, and the motivation. Go into it, find it for yourself. But you find it by living life, you know. It is, you can do a course, yes, you can do some courses, but at the end of the day, you must just become very honest with yourself. There's a verse of scripture that's saying, what is that, Job?
Agree with God.
Agree with God and be at peace with yourself. You see, get to a point where you just agree, God, you've made every person on earth beautiful, you've made me beautiful. You've made all of us with gifts and talents and whatever, so I make peace that I am a beautiful person. Go and read, what is it, Psalm 139. God has made me wonderfully. I am the best work. I'm the only place where the God of the universe can indwell. People, if that doesn't qualify you to be something in this world, then I don't know what will ever qualify you. You came qualified in every sense of the word. Become positive about it. Because if you can't get over that line of getting positive about yourself, you won't find the passion. Because the passion can't surface. There's constantly something that's pushing you down. You say, comes to that point, you say, listen, I've got problems. Of course, all of us have got problems. The Bible says the problems of the righteous are manifold, but God will deliver you from it. Stop making lists of all your problems. Yes, you can make a list, but listen, stop focusing there. Start to focus upon the wonderful person that God has made you. Start to celebrate it. Start to say to God and say to yourself in the mirror and say, listen, my friend, I just want to tell you, you're going to live what you sent to live. This person in front of this mirror are going to hold you accountable. You will not leave this earth before you've done what you came to do. I'm just telling you. And I'm going to remind you. And I'm going to comb your hair every day. And I'm going to tell you that. Why? Because this is not a nice thing to find out. This is what you came for. You better do it. Why? Because you are the best in it. Because the Lord will not give it to someone else before you die. If you die, He will give it to someone else. But as long as you live, you're going to do your part. Why? Because He wants you to do it. He depends upon you. That's part of His program. So become proud of yourself, become proud of what you're going to do. Yes, not everyone will agree with you and maybe think you're the right person or what, that is part of life. Listen to them, but only agree with God. Let Him only define you for who you are. No one else has the right to define who you are except the Creator that made you. That's very important. Only the Creator has the right to define you. Therefore, I must listen to this voice inside of me that's speaking to me. And listen to it and start to define yourself and start to write it down and just live it, because it is supposed to be very nice, and it is very nice. And at the end of the day, you will reach with the last point there, what we say, we are all called to be significant on earth. Significant means to make a mark. All of us are busy making a mark. I can tell you, you think you don't make a mark. The fact that you sit here, you are making a mark. Your presence here, your voice here, what you say, what you sing, every one of us is busy making a mark. Why? Because your whole makeup is making a mark. So do it properly. Just to be, we always say we're missing someone when he's dead. Why? Because the moment that person is here, there's an atmosphere. The moment the person is not there, then it's gone. Why? Because all of us has got something, a presence that is with us. A certain talent and a certain way of saying things and a certain positiveness or whatever it is. So be it. You were made for that. Be proud of it and do it with every fiber that's in you, with all the energy that's in you, so that at the end of the day, the Lord will say, well done, and listen, and don't look for the big things to go, I want to be a president and listen, maybe if you end up there, it's fine. Maybe if the Lord has told you that, that's also fine. But the Bible says to us that the Lord will reward you for everything that you have done for Him, from giving a glass of water to someone else, upwards. It's recorded. So everything is recorded. It's not about what big thing you've reached, What is the small things every day that is the real you? Some people are not called to reach big things, if you can say it like that. But they speak into people's lives. They've got this input into people's lives that no one else knows about. And that's why Rick Joyner said, the people that's mostly occupying heaven in front of the throne is mothers. It's not preachers. Because it's easy to be a preacher here and telling you everything. But I tell you, tonight 3 o'clock, when that baby wakes up and things are not working out and and all the poo and the whatever, you need spirituality to go through that. You need substance to do that thing, It's easy to stand here. That's not easy. And I think the most rewarded people on earth is mums. So get yourself enough children that you get enough reward. Because children are a reward from the Lord. Amen. Thank you very much.
Awesome.